Did you know your brain can lose up to 1,000 neurons every single night without you ever feeling it? It doesn't matter if you're asleep, relaxed, or even dreaming. Once inflammation and oxidative stress are in play, the damage keeps going silently, cell by cell. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you something real, because after 30 years of watching this happen to patients who were just getting older, I can tell you this. It's not about aging. It's about what your brain is or isn't getting before bed. Most people think memory loss happens in some big dramatic way, like waking up one day and not recognizing your home. But in reality, it starts much smaller. You forget where you parked the car. You walk into a room and forget why. You read something and forget it by the time you reach the next sentence. It's subtle, it's frustrating, and for millions of people over 60, it's happening every night. Not because they didn't try hard enough to stay sharp, but because no one ever told them this. Your brain doesn't age at night. It starves. It starves for glucose. It starves for antioxidants. And most of all, for the specific nutrients that protect your neurons while you sleep. That's what this video is about. Not pills, not brain games, but real food, fruits you can find in your local store, maybe already sitting in your kitchen, can quietly repair brain cells, improve memory, and even reduce your risk of cognitive decline while you sleep. And I'm not talking about exotic superfoods. I'm talking about bananas, apples, and oranges. 3 fruits you've seen 100 times, but probably never thought of as overnight brain medicine. New research is showing that what you eat before bed might be even more important than what you eat during the day, especially for your brain. In this video, I'll show you exactly how these 3 fruits work, what's in them, how they protect brain cells, and how you can use them tonight to wake up clearer, sharper, and more focused. And if this is your first time here, welcome to Senior Health Compass. If you care about your brain, your memory, your eyes, and your long-term independence, hit that subscribe button and stay with me through the end. We do things differently here. Now let's take a closer look at the first fruit, one you've probably eaten hundreds of times, but never at the right moment. Because when you eat, it matters just as much as what you eat. Let's talk about bananas. The older brain is not broken, it's just undersupplied. Bananas may look humble, but they deliver one of the most powerful combinations for overnight brain support, especially when consumed at the right time. And for seniors, that timing makes all the difference. This fruit is rich in vitamin B6, a nutrient your brain needs to produce key neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. These chemicals don't just affect mood, they are also central to forming, storing, and retrieving memories. As we age, the natural production of these neurotransmitters slows down. That's when names get fuzzy, conversations slip, and mental clarity fades, especially after a restless night. Bananas help refill the brain's neurochemical tank so it can process and store information efficiently, even during sleep. But bananas don't stop there. They contain magnesium, which has been shown to calm overactive neurons, reduce nighttime brain excitability, and support deep-wave sleep, the phase where the brain performs cellular repair and memory consolidation. A 2020 study in Nutrients observed that seniors who had higher magnesium and B6 intake before bed experienced better short-term recall and more stable mood patterns the next morning. The researchers concluded that nutrient timing could play a major role in cognitive resilience among older adults. And then there's tryptophan, an amino acid found in bananas that gets converted into serotonin and melatonin, 2 compounds deeply involved in memory processing and brain recovery during sleep. Serotonin enhances synaptic transmission, while melatonin triggers the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein critical for neuron survival and growth. In simple terms, bananas create the conditions your brain needs to heal itself, not just rest. Here's an example. Martin, a retired accountant, told me he felt mentally slow and scattered every morning. He started eating a banana 1 hour before bed for 2 weeks. No supplements, no major changes. After the 2nd week, he told me, "It's like my mind clicks in faster. I don't lose my train of thought like before." For seniors, that's not just improvement, that's independence. To benefit from banana's full effect, eat 1 small to medium ripe banana about 45 to 60 minutes before bed. Choose one with a few brown spots, as ripening increases available magnesium and tryptophan. If you're concerned about sugar spikes, pair it with a few almonds to slow the absorption. Avoid heavy meals, dairy, or caffeine close to this timing as they may interfere with melatonin release and reduce brain-calming signals. The beauty of bananas is not in how exotic they are. It's in how predictable they are. A consistent source of the exact compounds your brain needs at exactly the time it needs them most. This isn't brain hacking, it's brain nourishment. Gentle, natural, reliable. Exactly what the aging mind deserves. Now, if bananas refill your neurochemical tank, what happens when you also clean out the brain's oxidative waste? That's where apples come in. If bananas refuel the brain, apples cleanse it. This common fruit hides an uncommon secret. Beneath the skin of every apple is a cocktail of antioxidants, polyphenols, and flavonoids, compounds that play a critical role in protecting brain tissue from oxidative stress, a primary driver of memory loss and mental decline in older adults. As we age, free radicals accumulate in the brain. These unstable molecules damage neurons, erode the protective myelin sheath, and interfere with synaptic transmission. The result, slower thinking, poor recall, and increased risk of cognitive disorders. Apples fight back. They are especially rich in quercetin, a flavonoid concentrated in the peel. Quercetin acts as a neuroprotective shield, reducing inflammation in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, and slowing the progression of oxidative damage. A 2017 study in experimental gerontology found that quercetin supplementation in aged mice significantly preserved cognitive performance and hippocampal plasticity, suggesting its potential to counteract age-related memory decline. What's more striking is that the dosages used were equivalent to what you'd get from eating a single apple per day. But antioxidants are only part of the story. Apples are also high in soluble fiber, particularly pectin, which has been shown to feed gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. These compounds are now known to cross the blood-brain barrier and trigger the release of BDNF, a protein essential for new brain cell formation and memory retention. The gut-B-brain axis isn't a theory anymore. It's a proven communication line, and apples are one of the few fruits that work on both ends of that line, feeding the gut and rebuilding the brain. One 2021 human trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 2 apples daily over 12 weeks showed improved executive function and verbal recall, along with lowered markers of systemic inflammation. Even more interestingly, apples contain catechins, another class of antioxidants also found in green tea that support cerebral blood flow. Good circulation means more oxygen and nutrients delivered to working neurons, especially during the night when the brain clears metabolic waste and consolidates learning. Taken together, these compounds form a multi-tiered system of support. They reduce inflammation, they promote neurogenesis, they enhance communication between neurons, and they do it without side effects, supplements, or gimmicks. But the timing matters. For maximum impact on brain function, apples should be eaten in the evening, but not immediately before bed. The ideal window is 1.5 to 2 hours before sleep, allowing the antioxidants to circulate and the fiber to begin fermentation in the gut. Choose apples with red or dark skin, such as Gala, Fuji, or Red Delicious, as these contain higher concentrations of quercetin and polyphenols. Avoid peeling them. The skin is where most of the brain protective compounds are found. One fruit, one habit, and a cascade of effects that ripple through your neural networks overnight. When paired with a calming fruit like banana, apples help create the perfect biochemical environment for the brain to restore itself quietly, efficiently, and naturally. But we're not done yet. There's one more fruit, bright, juicy, and bursting with vitamin C, that completes this nightly trio. Let's move on to oranges. The brain doesn't just fade with age, it rusts. At the microscopic level, every memory, every decision, every thought creates oxidative waste. And unless that waste is cleared, it builds up damaging neurons, disrupting neurotransmitters, and accelerating cognitive decline. This is where oranges come in. Often overlooked as just a source of immune support, oranges are one of the most brain-protective fruits available, especially for seniors. Their power lies in a single nutrient, vitamin C. Your brain holds the highest concentration of vitamin C in the entire body, but the problem is it can't store it. That means even a single night without enough vitamin C can leave the brain vulnerable to oxidative damage and inflammation. Vitamin C is a potent antioxidant, but its role in the brain goes much deeper. It's essential for the synthesis of dopamine and norepinephrine, two key neurotransmitters involved in motivation, alertness, and focus. Without adequate vitamin C, these pathways begin to slow, leading to fatigue, fogginess, and poor short-term memory. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that seniors with higher vitamin C intake scored significantly higher on cognitive function tests, especially in tasks related to attention span and processing speed. And it doesn't stop there. Vitamin C also protects the blood-brain barrier, a crucial gatekeeper that filters toxins and pathogens from reaching the brain. As we age, this barrier becomes more fragile. Oranges help fortify it, reducing the risk of inflammatory molecules entering and disrupting delicate brain circuits. Another layer of defense comes from hesperidin, a flavonoid found in orange pulp and peel. Hesperidin has been shown to increase cerebral blood flow, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to active neurons during sleep. In a 2019 trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed citrus flavonoids daily experienced enhanced brain perfusion and improved episodic memory after just 8 weeks. This is especially important overnight when the brain enters glymphatic clearance, a process that flushes out waste like beta amyloid and tau proteins, both associated with neurodegeneration. Oranges fuel this process by ensuring blood vessels are open, neurons are protected, and chemical signals remain intact. And yes, real people feel the difference. Sarah, who struggled to stay mentally sharp after dinner, began eating orange slices 2 hours before bed. After just 10 days, she told me, "I wake up thinking clearly again. It's like someone cleaned the windows in my head." To replicate these benefits, choose fresh oranges, not processed juice. The fiber in whole fruit slows sugar absorption and enhances the delivery of hesperidin and vitamin C to the brain. Eat half to one orange roughly 90 minutes before bedtime, ideally paired with a small source of healthy fat like a few seeds or nuts to support nutrient absorption. The pith, that white layer beneath the skin, is packed with flavonoids, so don't peel it too aggressively. Avoid combining with caffeine, chocolate, or heavy starches, which may interfere with nighttime clearance and delay vitamin transport. Vitamin C isn't just for colds. It's a neurological ally working silently during sleep to sweep out brain fog, revive attention, and preserve mental clarity. Now that you've seen how bananas, apples, and oranges each play a unique role in overnight brain recovery, it's time to bring them together. Next, I'll show you a simple nightly fruit routine designed to nourish your neurons before your head hits the pillow. Knowledge alone doesn't change your brain. Action does. After understanding how bananas replenish neurotransmitters, apples clear oxidative debris, and oranges shield the brain with vitamin C, the next question is simple. How do you turn this into a routine that actually works? The brain thrives on consistency, especially when it comes to its nighttime recovery processes. Unlike the heart or muscles, the brain doesn't regenerate well under chaos. It needs a predictable window of rest, clean nutrients, and the right biochemical environment to repair and reset itself overnight. A 2022 review in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews emphasized that nutrient timing is as important as nutrient type for cognitive health in older adults. In other words, eating the right foods at the right time can make or break the brain's ability to consolidate memory and reduce age-related cognitive decline. This is why the evening routine matters. The goal isn't to overload the brain with nutrients right before sleep, but to prime the internal systems 1-2 hours ahead of your bedtime. That gives your gut time to digest and deliver the necessary compounds to your brain exactly when it begins its deep repair cycle. Here's how you do it. Start with half a ripe banana about 1 hour before bed. This gives your brain access to magnesium, tryptophan, and vitamin B, 6 key players in the production of serotonin and melatonin, which initiates sleep and memory processing. Next, about 90 minutes before sleep, eat half to one small red apple. The fiber and antioxidants from the peel begin to circulate, reducing inflammation and activating neurogenesis, promoting compounds like quercetin and pectin. Finally, around the 2-hour mark, enjoy half of a fresh orange or a few orange segments. The vitamin C and hesperidin get absorbed and begin protecting the blood-brain barrier while enhancing blood flow, two factors that strongly influence sleep-related memory consolidation. If digestion is sensitive, these fruits can be spread across the early evening. For example, the orange could be eaten with dinner, followed by an apple as a light post-dinner snack, and the banana last. Avoid combining them with heavy meals, caffeine, or dairy, which can interfere with the absorption and timing of key brain compounds. In a 2021 clinical trial published in Brain Sciences, researchers found that combining antioxidant-rich foods like berries, citrus, and apples led to greater improvements in verbal recall and processing speed than consuming them in isolation. This suggests that the synergy between different phytonutrients enhances cognitive effects, a case for the fruit trio approach. Rather than relying on a single type to make this habit sustainable, prep your fruit in advance. Wash your apple and orange earlier in the day. Slice the banana just before eating. Keep portions moderate. You're not feeding your stomach, you're feeding your brain. Avoid turning it into dessert. No honey, no whipped cream, no sugar-laced fruit bowls. This isn't a treat. It's a therapeutic routine. And stay consistent. The brain responds to rhythm. A regular evening fruit routine helps establish circadian alignment, which supports sleep efficiency, hormone balance, and cognitive resilience. According to a 2020 article in Aging Research Reviews, individuals who maintain consistent evening food patterns showed lower markers of cognitive aging over a 5-year period. This is about more than memory. It's about maintaining your identity, your ability to recall the names of your children, navigate your neighborhood, follow a conversation, or learn something new without frustration. And it starts with something as simple as choosing the right fruit at the right time. Now let's bring everything together. In the final part, I'll leave you with a few words that I hope stay with you, not just tonight, but for the years to come. If you've made it this far, I want to tell you something that many people over 60 don't hear enough. You're not broken, you're not fading, and you are not powerless. Yes, memory changes with age. Yes, the brain slows down, but that's not the end of the story. It never was. What your brain needs right now is not another supplement bottle or complicated mental exercise. It needs rest, nutrients, and a little consistency. And it turns out the things that rebuild your memory aren't locked behind prescriptions or expensive protocols. They're in your kitchen. They're in a bowl on your counter. They're growing in the same soil your grandparents once trusted. A ripe banana, a crisp apple, a fresh orange. Simple, familiar, and proven by science to protect the brain, fuel neurotransmitters, and help you wake up clearer than you felt the night before. So, if you've been forgetting more lately, if your thoughts feel slower, your mornings feel heavier, your conversations feel harder to follow, know this. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining a new kind of control, one that starts with understanding how the brain really works, one that's reinforced by simple actions done consistently, and one that builds night after night from choices you can make starting now. Because memory is not just about remembering facts, it's about remembering who you are, and that is always worth protecting. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I know your time is valuable, and the fact that you've spent these moments learning about your brain means you're already ahead of the curve. If this video gave you hope or a new tool you hadn't thought of before, I invite you to like this video, share it with a friend, and comment below, even if it's just one sentence about what you're going to try tonight. And if this kind of content speaks to you, I'd love to have you as part of this community. Subscribe to Senior Health Compass and stay tuned. We're just getting started. Your brain still has so much life ahead. You just need to give it a chance to show.